Hello. Welcome, Fabian. I saw you pop in. No, I'm back. I'm sorry. Sorry I missed you. But hello, anybody that doesn't know me, I am Redbeard. I fly imaginary planes. I am flying an imaginary flight. That is a real dog off to my left. You can't see him, but he's adorable. We are flying home to Copenhagen. Oh, okay. Yeah, so out of Boston to Copenhagen. Flight plan is generated in SimBrief. Oh, I need to open Pegasus. And actually, before I forget, I need to look something up for Dunker. There you go, copy address. That's can be. As far as the routes that we fly, yeah. Let me look at the. Let's see here, destinations. I think actually the closest would be Mirabel in Montreal. Oh, it's farther away. Yeah, so that's true. Yep, Boston would be the closest United States destination to fly back over to our bases. There we go. Yeah, no, I believe that it is the shortest. Oh, that is annoying. Yeah, I'm sticking with 2020 for the time being. I've been playing around with the idea of kind of popping over to 2024. I do have it downloaded, and I'm kind of tinkering with it. But as far as flying on VATSIM and stuff like that, this is definitely my reliable go-to. There is no control in Boston right now, which is fine, no big deal. Yeah, so jumping back over here, go flight sim open. Okay, thank you. We've got the jet bridge connected. I already hooked myself up to external power, saved myself a step, but let's go ahead and get this set up there. No, and that's fair. So we're gonna align our adheres. Being banned if you get a that you can get banned if you got a crashed a desktop on a flight. That was horrible because then I was scared doing any more VATSIM flights. I hate when freaking dreams like that happen. I really do. Okay. And arm. Good shit there. So we're gonna lock our cockpit door. Okay, so we have batteries 1 and 2 on. We are on external power. Wing and nav and logo. No smoking sign is on. Emergency lights are armed. Adheres are aligned. We're gonna set our baro ref to local, which is 3032. A330-900. I was having issues with the AnyBuilds A350. Okay, so let's see here. Let's set up the EFB. We'll import that. We'll come over here. We'll load our fuel. Payload. We're gonna go fast. Download. And there we go. We got a full flight today-ish. Pretty full. Pretty full. Couple empty seats. Checking our departure, which is Celtic 7. Procedures, departure, runway 09, Celtic 7. So it looks like above 4,000 is really our only So, you know, let's do that. Let's just go ahead and set 4,000. Yeah, I'm using a rolled back version of the Headwinds A330-900. Previous to it having a completely borked flight model from a somebody who's become a buddy, actually. A guy named Ginger Steve. He's on the Headwinds and the Beyond ATC Discords. We should be good to go there. We're just gonna wait for everything to start or to finish. Wait for everything to finish loading as far as passengers. And if we get bored, we can go ahead and set her up and do an instant. But yeah, we're parked kind of on the well, not necessarily the opposite end of the airport, but this will be a single engine taxi type situation, I believe. We'll see how that works for us. Oh shit. Okay, start tracking the flight, Redbeard. Don't be a moron. And I'm using payware scenery, but I'm trying to put more of a focus, Fabian, on trying to put more of a focus on freeware aircraft. Because there is so much good freeware aircraft out there. Like, so much. So, Fabian, I know that you are kind of busy right now. Are you at your computer currently? I wanted to run a quick little check for something. Okay, almost loaded up. Almost.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. When you have found your seat, please step aside to let those behind you pass. There's also space for your cabin baggage underneath the seat in front of you. If you're sitting in the first row or an exit seat row, all baggage and loose items must be stowed in the overhead compartment.
Oh, come on. Okay, I don't feel like waiting around anymore. Instant. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead now and we are going to initialize our stuff here. There is that. Perfect. And then put it init B. There is that. Our block fuel for this flight is 41.7 tons.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now fueling the aircraft. Please remain with the seatbelt unfastened until the seatbelt sign has been switched on. Thank you. On behalf of myself, your captain, the first officer and cabin crew, I'd like to take this.
And we're going to disable that because that's... And then we'll turn seatbelt signs on. We'll turn beacon light on. So there's that. Clear that. Then we're going to come over to performance and we are going to... Field prediction is good. Actually, let me go to just chatting for a second. I want to check something. Third party options. Okay, this is before they had Hoppy's integration. And that's fine. I can always use Easy CP DLC for that. I'm going to check VATSIM radar. I'm going to make sure there's no controllers on in Boston right now. And when I say make sure, all I mean is I just don't want to, you know, be moving of my own accord. If there's somebody that I need to be talking to, and there is not. So that works out. No center, no tower. So we're going to be pushing back on to...
Gentlemen, welcome aboard. When you have found your seat, please step aside to let those behind you pass. There's also space for your cabin baggage underneath the seat.
Shut up. There we go. Anyway, yes, we're going to be going tail... Trying to think. Flip it upside down. Be tail right. So we're going to be facing to the east. That should be fine. So, okay. All right. And we are tracking. We started tracking at 17. It is 23. We'll give us a little bit more time. We don't have anything like running right now. Anyway, main scene. Sorry about that. So going back to my checklist. Okay, so we are fully loaded, so we'll remove the jet bridge. Check our doors page. Doors are closed and locked. MCDU is set up. No ATC clearance required, so I think that we are gonna be okay. Just make sure, once again, one final check. No ATC on. That works. All right. So let's go ahead and we'll connect to VATSIM. We will go here. So we are Scandinavian 928. We are in a Airbus A330-900. We are connected to VATSIM. Probably help if I filed my flight plan though. Oh yeah, there we go. All right. Now the problem is pushback system on. Yes, I don't have anything else on. Let's call our tug. Oh wait, shit. Oh, APU master on. APU bleed on. Go, 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 go. Come on, APU. Come on, APU. Come on, APU. Come on, APU. Give me power, give me power, give me power, give me power. Okay. Thank goodness. So we're gonna go external power off. Oh, you son of a bitch. Okay, hold on. Let's go. There we go. All right. We're all right. We're good. Let's disconnect the external power. All right, so we're going to turn our transponder on. Should be good to go there. So now we're going to go back to our pushback utility. And I turn the brightness up on this. Okay. Okay, so let's see where we are. We are Echo 10. Make sure that we are on Unicom. Go. Actually, you know what I need to check? US is using CTAF. Boston, ATC, CTAF 128.8. Okay. I'll check. Good. Boston Logan traffic, Scandinavian 928 gig Echo 10 pushing back onto Alpha facing east. Boston traffic. Let's go ahead and turn off the parking brake. And we'll go back. Engine mode selector to ignition. And we're just going to do a dual engine taxi because fuck it. And keeping an eye on this, and we'll make sure to try to hit our turn. Because I never reinstalled toolbar pushback, because I'm an idiot. And engine 1 on. Oh, okay, that's convenient. All right, so we're gonna set our taxi or set our parking brake. We're gonna disconnect the tug. We are going to nose light to taxi. Departure Celtic 709er. Cert. Okay. What else? I feel like there's something else I need to do. Well, first off, we're going to turn off our APU because our engines are started. Set strobe to auto. We're going to arm our ground spoilers. Ah, yes, that would be the other stupid thing I didn't do. TO dot, there we go. Yes, 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 I hear you. Shut up. Try this again. So our zero fuel weight center of gravity is 2121. Flaps config 1, runway condition dry, calculate. Oh, it's a toga. Toga takeoff. So 129, 159, 163, 1/1.9 up. Flaps set for takeoff, flaps 1. Excuse me. And TO config. Oh, because they're transiting. Okay, no blues. Perfect. All right. One quick another check of VATSIM radar. We have no controllers online. Again, that is totally fine. No big deal there. Alpha Bravo Foxtrot Mike. Boston Logan traffic, Scandinavian 928 heavy, taxiing to runway 09 via Alpha Bravo Foxtrot and Mike. Logan traffic. Parking brake off. All right. The winds have shifted enough to where really 1-5 right should have been the departure. But in the absence of controllers, this is what I'm planned for, so this is what I'm doing. but I haven't had a straight up toga takeoff in a while. What we're gonna do here is I don't know if those aircraft there plan on pushing back anytime soon. So we are going to, well, I haven't heard any radio calls. Also, make sure my radio's on. My radio's on, right? Yes, okay. So we'll keep on moving here. We're taking the second left-hand turn, which is going to be Mike, or Foxtrot rather. Oops. That wasn't intentional. A little tough on the brakes there. Hold short there. Good, good. Logan traffic, Scandinavian 928 heavy crossing runway 22 right at Foxtrot, Logan. We're gonna take a right onto Mike and go right on down to 09er. Actually, no, right is. I hate the fact that it doesn't have any color. Yeah, okay, so it did pick up runway 09. Good, good. Logan traffic scan, maybe not 2A heavy clear runway 2 right, Logan. Let's check. Okay. EFOB 7.4. That should be fine. As long as I'm timely about this flight, which is to say, like, getting where I need to be quickly, not faffing around. Jump back over here, check the Twitch chat. I know where I am on the airfield. We're going all the way down to the end. And I am crossing a runway threshold, actually. Oh, no, I'm not. That's actually my runway. We'll see if this runway lets me get up. I think I might have made a mistake here, but we'll see. Shoot, only one way to find out, right? Holding short. All right, coming up here, we are going to turn our strobe lights on, landing lights on, nose lights set to take off, runway turn off light on, just because that's how I roll. And as I usually say, I am a whore for integral lights. So we're gonna crank all those up to max. Okay, so we should be good to go. So we are going to do our departure call. Logan traffic, Scandinavian 928 heavy departing runway 09, flying Celtic 7, Logan traffic. Yo, see how this goes. Once again, I have not done a toga takeoff in a while. In fact, I can't recall the last time that I did. But I think it's because I did pick a runway that was actually kind of too short. We'll see. We should be able to make this happen. I'm thinking that we should be okay. So, brakes on. Toga. Man, toga, SRS. Brakes released. Brakes released. There we go. Smaller Norwegian airports with harsh weather condition often. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you gotta slam up the power. V1? Oh, we're gonna be fine, I think. Rotate. Logan traffic, Scandinavian 928 heavy, vacated runway 09er. Logan. Okay. Oh yeah. EARA, there we go. All right, so we are passing 1,200 feet. Lever set to climb. Engine mode selected to normal. We'll kind of get ourselves a little bit more aligned with our We'll go ahead and bring flaps up because this does have a 250 knot. And autopilot on. Oh, you know what would help? Flaps up. Fly your checklist, Redbeard. Fly your checklist. There we go. And we'll hit 250 there. And then our cruise altitude is 370. So we'll do a VATSIM radar check. Logan traffic, Scandinavia 928 heavy, 4,000 feet, turning direct Fenway. Final call, Logan. And now we are going over to Unicom and climbing up to flight level 370. There we go. So after takeoff checklist, runway turn off, lights off. We're going to be turning our nose lights off. Other lights are as required. I am not the only one flying over the Atlantic today. It looks like you got somebody, another Scandinavian flight, flying a 321 Neo from JFK to Kapstrup. Actually, quite a lot of transatlantic activity today, and we're going to be taking Nat Track Tango. So we've got a lot of water in our future. Oh, interesting. Man, I wish I would have known that. I would have flown out of there. So PWM is online. Portland International. It wasn't the airport I thought it was. If it was PSM, I would totally end this flight and restart it and fly just whatever from PSM. That airport has a very, very special place in my heart. No, I did not yet, but I could always go to Nat Track. My oceanic entry is at... My oceanic entry is at Nixo. I'm flying, like I said, Tango. And I am estimated at Nixo. You know what would help? I did that. Yeah, so let me see here. My estimated time at Nixo is 17:39. And it is currently 15:50, so I actually can't request my clearance yet. Well, I've flown Boston to, I used to fly, back in the X-Plane days, I used to fly Boston to Scandinavia at least once a week. And yeah, I mean, we're going to be going through, I think it's just Gander. I don't know if we're going to be hitting, let's see, hold on, FIR map. Okay, yeah, so I mean, you got to go all the way through, Moncton and Gander domestic before you hit your oceanic entry. This is a flight that I'm fairly familiar with. Not in this aircraft, but I mean, you know, air law and the rules and regulations don't change, right? So Probably when I get, what's my entry time estimated again? 17:39. Yeah, so probably 17:09. I'll go ahead and jump on the NatTrack website and do that, but I will. Double check some stuff here. Well, actually, Nixo should be at 380. What is my maximum for this flight? 390. I think. Well, we'll see. Tango. First oceanic sector is going to be Gander. Entry fix Nixo. Estimated time of fix is 17:39. Current TMI is 147. So yeah, we're good. Good call, though. Good catch. We are above 10,000. Let's go ahead and turn the seatbelt signs off. Hello, Hugo. Welcome. Hugo on YouTube saying hello. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for dropping a little comment there. I appreciate the interaction. And I need to figure out a way to follow my... You are, by the way, you are my first YouTube chatter. So thank you for that. I am doing well. Trauma XXC, hello. I am, nothing is up except for my plane. But I do need to set up a way to I can actually track events like subscribers and such. No, actually, I am flying the Headwinds A339 Neo. Flying an older version of it. I'm flying 0.5.8 as opposed to 0.7.1, which is their current stable version. Because 0.5.8 was actually better from a flight dynamic standpoint. There was a change that they made that wasn't great, I don't feel, personally. So I went back to the older version, thanks to a buddy of mine on Discord who suggested that. But no, my channel actually has, I'm trying to put a very strong emphasis and focus on freeware aircraft. Because there is so much good freeware aircraft out there. Or so much, I don't know. There's a lot of good freeware stuff. With my kind of goal being showing people how accessible the sim can be to fly at a relatively high enthusiast level without having to make any real investment beyond the initial sim. The exception to that is scenery. And the reason why the exception is scenery is flying on VATSIM. It does. It flies very, very well, actually. The flight dynamics got a little borked somewhere between 0.5x and 0.6 when they went to that iteration. One of them being cruise, it tended to porpoise, and then also on ILS, if you're doing a Cat 3 auto land or whatever the case may be, which is what I do, especially on long flights, it would kind of search for the glide slope. So you'd be going up and down and your throttle would be going back and forth and everything. I have not noticed that being a thing in this version. And we are past transition altitude, 18,000 feet in North America. So we'll go to standard. There's the United States, leaving it behind. Cape Cod. Beautiful area of the country. But I'm going back to the area of the world that I love flying in, which is Europe. where I fly most of the damn time. Want to check something here. Let me double check this. I do. I do a lot of, not offline, but non-stream flying with it. Let's see, where's my studio dashboard? What was I saying? Oh yeah, I fly it on VATSIM. I don't necessarily fly it on stream though, because like I said, I want to make sure that I'm showing people, like, you know, you can get into flight sim for a very low cost, initial cost. Where is this list at? Allegedly. Analytics, and then audience tab. Is that not a thing? Yeah, whatever. Fuck it. YouTube playback location. Audience. Yeah, whatever. Let's go back to the chat. It's great. I'll figure it out later. It is. No, it is. It's the gold standard. It is very much the gold standard of the A320 CO. I'm super excited about them making an A320neo. I was talking to some buddies of mine, and it's basically going to put an end to the which is better, any builds or fly-by-wire. I think fly-by-wire is superior to the any builds, personal opinion, for various reasons. I think it flies better. But once Phoenix releases a 320neo, that conversation is just, it's done at that point. There are going to be a lot of controllers very busy the day that that finally drops. I mean, so many of the 80 builds A320neo, I think, is a great aircraft. Way better than anything I could make, because, you know, I'm an idiot and I don't develop aircraft. But from a flight dynamic standpoint, fly-by-wire, I think, is better. The A320 is prettier. Some of the systems are nicer visually, but my understanding is, according to the roadmap you go, my understanding is that it is going to be released this year. I don't know much more than that. Got shit all over my glasses. Yeah, no, I understand they are shooting for a 2025 release. Actually, let's do a little bit of research. Let's see. So, Phoenix A320neo. They announced it on March 28th. They're doing internal testing right now, if I recall correctly. But yeah, I mean, they're at a point, my limited understanding is that, oh, let's find out. Let me read the blog post. But they have a flyable aircraft right now that they are flight testing internally. So given the fact that All right, to answer your question, Hugo, yes. It looks like they're building the A320 and 321, which is going to be great for me for the VA that I fly for. But the fact that they have a flyable, basically test article that they're using internally is a very positive thing. So it tells me, at least, and I've been around the flight sim world now for going on 25 years. They've been working on this for a while. And from what I've read, they never planned on doing it. And they wouldn't have announced anything, especially being a commercial developer that stands to make a lot of money off of this. Which thrustmaster throttle add-ons are those? I don't have yet I don't have the captain pack, so I don't have the throttle I don't have the flaps and speed brake and stuff. It's on my list of things though, because it would be nice not to have to do this all the time, to go down to like my flaps and that parking brake, etc., etc. Speaking of, what are those running for now? Because I know you can buy just the add-on. There we go. $109. It looks like. Hello, FT Clips. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. About the Wind Wing, I think the Wind Wing is cool, like as far as in concept. However, what I am really excited about and something I'm definitely going to be looking into is mini cockpit. I don't know if you're familiar with them. Because I'm one of those people, I'm a big believer in cramming as much functionality into as small a space as possible. Because, yeah, hold on. Let me do some conversion here. 31 centimeters, 2 inches. Yeah, so basically, FT Clips, I will come back to that. But the mini cockpit essentially gives you a full EFIS and a full FCU in 12 inches, so 31 centimeters. How to pass the test of VATSIM. Are you talking about your initial like new user orientation training? Oh no, I'm sure. Now, the Wind Wing it's great. The one thing about the fly-by-wire aircraft, though, again, FT Clips, I will come right back to you, is I can do something super silly. And granted, it's not going to have the same, you know, fidelity and everything, but so this is my iPad. That's a fully featured MCDU on a touchscreen format. Ah, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. There we go. So again, the Wind Wing, for the cost, it's fantastic. It might not be in everybody's budget, however. So it's all about crowbarring. Yeah, the pop-up, it's nice, but the fidelity, the actual tactile feedback Again, I get it. I get why people are into the wind wing, and I get it too. Yeah, so FT Clips, going to your question about the new member orientation training on VATSIM. How deep does your aviation nerddom go? Are you an av geek? Are you just getting into the flight sim world? Kind of where do you sit with that? Not so deep, and that's fine. Obviously, that's a great part about this community is anybody who treats this community properly is very accepting and welcoming of new people, because we all started out knowing nothing. Hugo seems like he is probably very much into flight sim and aviation. I'm just going to use Hugo as an example. This is the conversation that he and I had been having. There was a point where Hugo didn't know anything. There's a point when I didn't know anything. The one thing that I can say, FT Clips, is bear in mind that they give you all the information when you're taking that course. They give you like the course material or whatever as you skip through or go through. They teach you everything that you need to learn before you take the test. Take notes. Treat it like an actual academic class. That's what I can recommend. Is there anything in particular that you're being hung up on? Something that maybe we may be able to help you with? Just read the lessons I give you on VATSIM. Yeah, that's the best advice that I can offer. Maybe, potentially. I'm also not just going to give you answers. But, where are you getting hung up on? Also, FT Clips, I want to thank you for coming in and actually having this engaging conversation with us. I really appreciate that. Again, we are all here to help people. I am here to help new people as much as I can in my, albeit still, limited knowledge. Yeah, is there, a specific portion of flight? Oh, there you go. Perfect. Yeah. I think between Hugo and I think that we could probably give you a hand with whatever issues you might be having. If I may, just as an aside, of course I may, I'm the broadcaster. The VATSIM test, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. You don't have to do, what am I trying to say? God damn it. I hate when this happens and I can't think. Trying to place it. Trying to see what I'm trying to say. You only need to worry about doing the new member orientation test. Everything else be damned. Also, Transavia is a cool airline. Actually, Hugo, I passed it on my first time, but the reason is my VATSIM account is so old, I didn't have to take it when I started VATSIM, so I was kind of grandfathered in, and I had already been simming for 20 years at that point. That's the exception, not the rule. But people just coming into it, yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Hugo. I agree with you there. It's 1551, so we still got quite some time before we got to worry about requesting our oceanic clearance. So the consequence for a VATSIM account holder who intentionally disrupts another account holder stream or recording. I forget. Yeah, it's been a little while since I've done it. What are the options? I mean, you can get warned, you can get booted off the network, you can get suspended, you can get straight up banned. That information, though, that is in the VATSIM COC. So hold on a second. So that is in A18 subsection C of the COC. It's account holders connected to the network who deliberately, actually, let's do this. Actually, stand by one. I'll just do this. There's the easy one there. That's direct from the VATSIM COC. Actually, stand by one. And I don't want to listen to myself now. Why is do this? There we go. I had to mute myself. So basically, yeah, you can straight up get suspended from the network immediately if you do that. So the answer to that one is actually simple as well. If I recall correctly, the wording, don't quote me verbatim, but it is you must either end your emergency or disconnect from the network. Basically, controllers have final authority whether or not you're allowed to do an emergency on the network. The way that works is if you have a planned or unplanned emergency, you can work the problem of the emergency. If you're in uncontrolled airspace, if you're in controlled airspace, you do the same thing. Basically, you do what you have to do to operate the aircraft safely. But at any point in time, depending on workload or controller preference, the controller can just say, I'm not accepting emergencies at this time. At which point you have to terminate the emergency, go back to a regular flight configuration, or disconnect from the network. Does that answer your question? I hope it does. That should give you close enough wording to answer that question properly. Yeah, no, FT clips, absolutely. Also, Hugo, what event is going on today on VATSIM? I know there's like several events a day sometimes, but I'm curious what you're going to be flying. But yeah, no, we'll help you pass it, and then, you know, hopefully we'll see you up in the skies. I know I've got a step climb somewhere. I believe I have a step climb after, okay, before Nixo rather. But we're like 700 miles away from that. Okay, let's go back to the chat. And Hugo may get to them before I get to them just because of lag. You cannot connect on, which of the following actions prohibited when connecting as a pilot on the VATSIM network? You cannot spawn on a taxiway. Thank you, FT Clips. You can't spawn on a taxiway. You can't spawn on a runway. I believe there is a rule too about occupied gates as well. I never turn my landing lights off. I'm an idiot. Whatever. That's not a flight critical thing. But yeah, so you can't spawn on a taxiway, you can't spawn on a runway, you have to spawn at a gate. Essentially, basically what the gist of that rule is, FT Clips, is they don't want people spawning on an area of the airport where other aircraft may already be moving that could cause a disruption to the traffic flow. Basically, anywhere where aircraft are under power, you can't spawn there. That's a good way to put it. So, in the air, runway, taxiway. And that being said, I will say this as an aside. That's not something you're going to get insta-banned for. The reason why I say that is, this has happened to me. I have selected a gate in Microsoft Flight Simulator to be my spawn point. I've selected a gate, and I know I've selected a gate, but it'll still spawn me on a runway because a button wasn't pushed or something like that. But once again, that's why you don't connect to vPilot until you are fully loaded into the sim. You know exactly where you are. Just some best practices gleaned over a lot of years on VATSIM for that. And actually, before I forget, while I'm thinking about it, just to be safe, I know we're a ways out from that, but and you'll develop your own flow too, you know, doing things in a certain order as you're connecting to VATSIM, etc. Yes, we are eagerly awaiting the questions. There we go. Analytics, audience. Pilots flying under instrument flight rules may omit the following selections from their mandatory field flight plan before their flight. Now, what are the options on that? Nope, you have to have your aircraft type. If you're flying IFR, you need your route. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why they need to know your aircraft type. All right, see you later, Hugo. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you, man. Can you hear me now? You should be able to hear me now. My levels look good on OBS. Do. Okay. Perfect. Glad. And this is another thing that is in the COC, I believe. I'll paste it here. Again, this is from the VATSIM Code of Conduct. But that's all very important information to an air traffic controller. So the call sign, obviously, so they know what to call you. Departure and arrival airport, so they know where you're going. Aircraft type, a lot of that has to do with performance and things like wake turbulence. Equipment is what you have on board. So, you know, transponders and what you're capable of doing from a, my brain stopped working. What you're capable of doing from an equipment standpoint, like a technological standpoint. Yeah, so you don't have to have, well, again, just read through that from the COC. And so you need to have aircraft type, you need to have route, you need to have arrival and departure airport, you need to have equipment, and you need to have your surveillance codes. You are not required to put remarks in. Remarks are optional. Oh, yep, you need aircraft type, you need route. Like me, in my remarks, I always put my my streaming links, for example. But remarks are not hard required. By any means. That's basically additional information you want the controller or other pilots to see. So somebody jumps on VATSIM radar, or they jump on VATSPY, or whatever the case may be, and they click on my aircraft. Oh, I didn't change it. Shoot. Okay, hold on a minute. I gotta... But yeah, so people can find my streams. Bring it down. Yeah, I'm just gonna be posting more stuff from the COC, because having the answers given to you only goes so far. To actually learn it, you got to understand why. So that's why I'm just going to post stuff from the COC. Stand by. There you go. There's the answer. Or a way to find the answers, I should say. Basically, if you don't know about the airspace, learn about the airspace. First off, it's required for VATSIM. Second off, it is just good practice. It'll save you trouble. But never fly without preparation. Hello, David. I love the fact that your user ID or your profile picture is a Flight Radar 24 screenshot. I appreciate that. I can definitely respect that. Again, the answer is in the COC excerpt that I posted. Like I said, I'm not going to give answers. I'm going to give you the information you need to get the answers. I wish there was a bot to do that. That would be actually kind of cool. I might look into doing that. I'm wondering how difficult that would be. Probably wouldn't be too difficult. I just need the text. Hell yeah, David. What are you flying, bud? And are you on VATSIM? And if you're on VATSIM, stacking the questions here. If you're on VATSIM, what's your flight number? Manchester. Okay. General aviation call sign. So again, hold on a second. Oops. Just finding the entrance here. Do. So, I mean, usually a call sign, I'll give you an example. Oh, okay, you're on Xbox. Gotcha. No, that's totally fine. That's cool. That's awesome, though. So here's an example. So this would be for the United States. So N is any aircraft registered in the United States. If you were in Great Britain, it would start with a G and then a dash and then 4 letters. Yeah, no, the general aviation call sign is going to be dependent upon the it's going to be dependent upon the country or jurisdiction in which the aircraft was registered. So so an American one can be like November 1234. It can be November 69er or Romeo Bravo. It can be November 1985 Charlie. In Great Britain, it can be Golf Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta. In Finland, it would be Oscar Hotel and then 3 letters. So Oscar Hotel, Alpha Bravo Delta, or Alpha Bravo Charlie, something like that. In Sweden, it would be Sierra Echo and then 3 letters. So Sierra Echo dash Alpha Bravo Charlie. Exactly. Yep, David, great example. Thank you so much for posting that. Like this aircraft that I'm flying right now, if I recall correctly, it's Romeo. It's a fictional aircraft because SAS doesn't fly the A330neo. But yeah, so that's the registration. So this has, a call sign, a radio telephony call sign of, right now I am Scandinavian 9028. But from a legal standpoint to the government of Sweden, it's not Scandinavian 9028 because flight numbers change based off of the routing. Any aircraft, excuse me. No, FT Clips, that would be an airline call sign. So somebody that has like an AOC, and not just big airliners, but small airliners. If you are commercially flying for an airline that flies anything, it can be a Cessna, it can be an Airbus A380, it really doesn't matter. American 123, that would be if you were an American Airlines aircraft, and the call sign would actually be formatted like this. But American 123 is, again, going to be registered as something else. You use registrations if you don't have a call sign. That's a good way to look at it. And you don't have a call sign unless you're flying something scheduled, if it's not military, if it's not an airline flight of somebody with, again, an airline operator certificate, you're going to be using the call sign. Like, what's another good example? So, if I was watching a documentary a while back about NetJets, and it was NetJets' delivery of the first Embraer 300 Phenom. And when that aircraft goes into service, the call sign is going to be Echo Juliet Alpha 123, whatever the case may be, because EJA, it's Executive Jet Aviation. That's actually the original name of NetJets. But when they were delivering it, it was, I forget what Portugal's thing is, but it was, they used it when they were flying it across the Atlantic over to Portugal. They were actually using a registration as opposed to a call sign. But basically the first the first part, if it's an American aircraft, U.S. registered, I should say, it's going to be November, letter N, and then something else. N says that it is a U.S. registered aircraft. The everything else is what's specific to that aircraft. In David's example, so his is Golf Victor Sierra Papa Yankee. Golf tells you that it is a British registered aircraft. The Victor Sierra Papa Yankee, that is specific to that airframe. So because it changes from country to country, there's no golden rule, but you're not going to be using American 123 or Virgin 1123 or whatever the case may be. But yes, David, it does kind of suck that there's no Volanta or anything like that. I agree with you there, but technical limitations and such. And actually, it's been a little while. I'm checking VATSIM radar again. Yeah, there should be nothing as long as this flight's going on. Oh, did I? God damn it. Standby one. I gotta do something real quick. That is so you don't crash. Basically, so that you're hitting, if your local altimeter is not set correctly, then you will not be able to properly comply with ATC instructions. That's the short answer. 1737 is looking like now. And TMI is 147. Yeah, I am at flight level 390. Oh, is that your ground speed, David? It must be. So I highly doubt you have a 515 calibrated airspeed. What are you flying? Are you flying a 7.8? Doing a long haul for Virgin, I assume you're flying a 787. Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. Especially with you being on although I guess a lot of the developers are making their stuff available on the marketplace, but what else you got for me, FT clips? And then curiosity here. One. Yeah. Flight level must be higher. 390. Oh, hold on. 380, maximum 390. Son of a gun. .081 Nat Track Tango First Oceanic Gander, and it's gonna be Tango. There we go. Okay, we're back. Easy answer to that, FT clips, is lag. And it also increases workload. So it's more work for a controller to have to type out your instructions and more work for you to have to reply via text than it is to speak it. No, David, 100% with you on that. I own both, but for the okay, gotcha, David. So okay. So you do have the ability to play on PC, but for various reasons you're playing on Xbox. I get that. But yeah, no, there's so many things that need to be fixed in 2024 before I make that my primary flight simulator. Like, I pre-ordered it. I got it on launch day, and that was just a shit show, as I'm sure that you know. Sounds like you're pretty up on it. Is the Bombardier... Is there a Global 6000 for Flight Sim? Oh, it's an add-on. I did not even know that. Oh, they've got the E11 variant. Oh, interesting. Sorry, I'm just looking at that. The Globemaster makes half the world disappear on you, on yours. Yeah, there's just too much going on. That's interesting, because that's hilarious, actually. I remember flying the Iris Global 6 in Flight Simulator X, and somebody converted it to Flight Sim. That is super interesting. Very interesting. I might have to mess around with that just for nostalgia reasons, dude. Yeah, because I remember I did a bunch of repaints and stuff for that back in the day on FSX. How does the FMC work though? I mean, does it work passable? Because the FSX version never had a properly functioning FMC. You actually had to use a third party, like paid add-on for that. What is the recommended option or action if a pilot? What is the recommended action for a pilot if their connection is lost while operating in event airspace? It's to reconnect as soon as possible. Basically, you continue flying as normal and then reconnect as soon as possible. I believe that's the answer. I don't fly a lot of events, though. Matter of fact, I avoid it. I just flew a bunch of domestic routes during Cross the Pond. I think did like 3 or 4 local hops in Scandinavia while that was going on. I'm like, nope, I'm not fucking around with it. But yeah, I'm downloading that because that's hilarious. I don't even know if Iris Simulations is still around. Because that was one that they released for free. They were like, fuck it, we built this. It was like in an unfinished state. Yep, bring it on. No, Gulfstream, from what I hear, are total assholes when it comes to their aircraft and simulator. But I agree, it would be nice to be able to jet around in a 650. I recall there being quite a few projects in the works back in the FSX days, and they were freeware. Like, people weren't even trying to make money, and fucking Gulfstream was like, nope, you're shutting your shit down right now. I was real big into corporate aviation for a while. I might have to get back into it, especially with the longitude. It is important for X-Plane users to maintain a minimum of 20 frames per second, because if you cannot maintain 20 frames per second, then it fucks with the avionics, actually. And I'm saying this as I used to be an X-Plane simmer. It's because the systems require a minimum of that to keep up, and if your systems are not keeping up, or if they're failing because you're not running the sim at the appropriate performance level, then it just doesn't, you can't really fly on VATSIM because you can't follow instructions. I'm gonna find the But yeah, the more technical aspect is that the basically X-Plane will, if you're having a performance hit, X-Plane will actually slow itself down below 20, which means that like to maintain visual performance. So what'll happen is it'll not update as frequently as it needs to. You heard that a mysterious developer working on a Bombardier Global 7500 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Trying to think of who would even be doing that. I mean, it might be an upstart too. You know, there are a lot of developers, even in the payware space, that have kind of come up really only since FS2020. I'd call it, you know, new flight simulator. Yeah, no. Bring it on. Like I said, I'm here to help. This is an engaging conversation. It gives me something to do while my aircraft is flying completely nominally over the Atlantic. what I think we might do is because there's not really a whole lot going on, I think I'm gonna boot up Beyond ATC. Let me just double check. Yeah, there's nothing coming up in the future here. So Beyond ATC it is. We'll use some high quality AI ATC while we are over this area with no actual ATC.
Beyond ATC connected.
You can lose access to the network. But let me go back to the COC. Get you the. Oh, no. So we are over center. There we go. So Moncton Center, Scandinavian 928 heavy, flight level tree 70.
Scandinavian 928 heavy, you're off course. Cleared direct Nixo. Resume own navigation.
Direct Nixo, Scandinavian 928 heavy.
Scandinavian 928 heavy, reset transponder. Squawk 6226.
6226, Scandinavian 928 heavy.
Scandinavian 928 heavy, negative. Squawk 6226.
That's what I said. Squawk 6226, Scandinavian 928 heavy.
Scandinavian 928 heavy, Moncton Center, radar contact.
What we've got going on here is I have Beyond ATC running in the background. I still have Unicom as a listening channel here, because I know that this works. But this just gives us something to do. Next one's going to be Gander on 134.9er. Basically, as sad as it is for me to say FT clips, there's a lot of VATSIM has a lot of ways to get suspended, but as long as you're not a complete dill hole about stuff, you should be fine. Okay, so you're David. Going back to you real quick. So you're like you're about an hour and a half from the coast, essentially. Because I'm about to fly over Newfoundland. In the future, could you make a video about how to set up VATSIM? I think I will blow it up, and I would like it. Yeah, I mean, I could probably give you a hand with that. What's the what are you most concerned about? Because vPilot from a very basic standpoint is very plug and play. I mean, David, at least you're outside of like ETOPS at that point. What am I seeing here? 7.3. Okay, so we lost a little bit of fuel efficiency somehow. Let's see. Do we have anything new? Nope, nothing new on VAT track or NAT tracks. Yeah, I'm about to fly over Newfoundland myself. Like, if you're at all interested, what happens if you say, let's see, watching Air Force Proud on YouTube is pretty good. He is good. The problem with that is there are a lot of people who watched his videos and then decided they were going to try to emulate him on VATSIM, when in reality he is a professional pilot. But yes, he's hilarious. FT clips, my best advice is twofold. So one, listen to real world ATC, like a lot of it. You can find clips on YouTube. You can listen on liveatc.net. But what I recommend is having Flight Radar 24 and Live ATC up. The reason why I say that, you can be listening to ATC and then actually in real time watching what the aircraft are doing. After this flight, you're going to go on to War Thunder. I think he flew the Cirrus Vision Jet. I mean, about 100%. I know that he has his commercial. I know he's got his CFI. I didn't know, because I've been watching Air Force Proud for years, because yeah, I think he's hilarious, because he's somebody who really knows what he's doing. But because he knows what he's doing, he also knows how to really fuck with people. But like the other characters, as it were, you know, the people that regularly flew with him, I didn't know that Emil got his CRJ type rating. Because I feel like he was flying for Cape Air for a while, flying the Technims. But unsure. But it's fun watching people's careers advance.
Scandinavian 928 Heavy. Contact Gander Center 134.9.
Gander Center 134.9, Scandinavian 928 Heavy. Let's see, do you have the Boeing 7879 Dreamliner and MSFS? I do, but I'm an Airbus guy. I'm a hardcore Airbus guy. Gander Center, good afternoon. Scandinavian 928 Heavy, flight level 370, direct Nixo.
Scandinavian 928 Heavy, Gander Center, radar contact.
There's going to be a couple more sectors of Gander Domestic before we hit Gander Oceanic. So I take it, FT Clips, I assume that you're on PC, right? If you're talking about VATSIM and all that kind of stuff. Let's see if they give us a climb instruction here in a little bit. 221 miles away from our oceanic entrance. Yeah, cool. It does just offer you a lot more flexibility, in my opinion. What's going on outside? Stand by. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Sorry, garbage guy's a day late, so I got confused. Memorial Day and such.
Dashport 2205, you are assigned flight level 250. I show you at flight level 240. Climb to flight level 250. Wilco, climb to flight level 250, Dashport 2205.
All right. Where am I supposed to see that allegedly? Whatever. We're good. We're good. You know, I don't have the best plane knowledge, but I'm good at MSFS. I started some years ago. When did you begin to like planes? Oh, goodness gracious. 1991. Actually, 1990, I would say. A long ass time ago. Probably 1990. I want to say it was 1990. Yes, 19. Yeah, it would have been 5. Yep. So 1990. That was the first air show that I went to. I've more or less been hooked since then. My map's not being updated on. Map last updated 1650. Weird. Okay, hold on a minute. I gotta check something. Let's go with VAT classes. Stand by just a moment, please. Okay, now it's updating. Weird. But now we're in an area of flight where there's just not a whole lot going on. You'll have that on VATSIM. Even with my AI ATC, it's quiet because there's not a lot of. I'm in an area of the world that doesn't have a whole lot of air traffic at the moment. How do I describe it? A lot of people that are going to be in this sector of airspace are not landing within this sector of airspace. So you're not going to be hearing people getting like descent clearances and things like that. And actually, we need to do, 390. And entry time is now going to be 1737. We'll submit that. That's been pretty solid and pretty steady. There we go. Things that I have to be concerned about when flying on VATSIM, making sure that my clearance is accurate. I will be happy, I will say, to get back to Europe. You just landed with a 7.4 and it was butter. Very nice. Very, very nice. What's up? You were wondering what? I'm here for you. What you got? see, everybody's flying. Okay, so I need to request a new clearance. I need to go flight level 390, flight level 390. 081. Nat track Tango. 1737. TMI 147. I'm tidying something up. Bear with me a second. 147. Oh wait, Gander. Tango. There we go. $390. More people playing VATSIM on FSFS than 2020 or 2020 than 2024. Great question. I do not have the statistics on that, but I have to believe there are more people on 2020 than 2024 because 2024 has a ton of issues. It's, you know, there's stability problems and people aren't going to want to have to be restarting flights all the time and stuff like that. So I'm pretty strong believer that most of them are likely on 2020. Again, I don't have any numbers or anything to back that up, but that's just my opinion. Because yeah, I've been playing with the idea of doing more on 2024 because 2024 has an A330 CO, so the A330-300. But yeah, the nice thing is when it really comes down to it, it doesn't matter. As long as you're on a compatible sim, you're going to see the aircraft. Oh, what are you, little buddy? 27,000. Are you too far away for me to see? There should be an aircraft down there somewhere. Yeah, probably too far away for visual. But yeah, I mean, you can get, once again, kind of the accessibility aspect, right? You can get into VATSIM for very little money, as in free. I have a lot of stuff set up on my rig to basically have, you know, as much accurate air traffic as possible. Like I've got I basically got 100 gigs or so worth of AI traffic models and different VMRs and stuff like that. VMRs are model matching rules. So I've got AIG and I've got FSLTL, which are two packs of models, so that I'm not just looking at default flight simulator aircraft. I actually see, like, if I'm landing in Copenhagen and there's a bunch of SAS aircraft, I'll see a bunch of SAS aircraft. If I'm landing in Boston and there's 5 different airlines active at the gate, I will likely see the proper livery for all those 5 or 10 or 15 or 20, whatever the case may be. And let's see if this works. Gander Center, Scandinavian 928 Heavy request.
Gander Center Scandinavian 928 Heavy, go ahead.
Yes, Gander Center, Scandinavian 928 Heavy would like to request a step climb to pass Nixo at flight level 390.
Scandinavian 928 Heavy, confirm new altitude flight level 390.
Not at this moment, but would like to cross Nixo at flight level 390. For the time being, we'd like to request 370. Right now, looking at VATSIM, there's a little bit of traffic in Copenhagen at Kapstrup, but they have a tower on. Generally speaking, on VATSIM, if a manned airport is going to have, quite a bit of traffic because people fly VATSIM to have ATC, right? So an airport that's fully staffed. So, for example, right now, okay, that's funny. Sorry. For example, right now, Arlanda has clearance delivery, ground, tower, I believe approach, and center. So Arlanda, if they're not busy right now, they're going to get busy soon. But Copenhagen, if you're flying real world ops, Copenhagen tends to have a fair amount of traffic if there's controllers on. Excuse me. The reason for that is, for Scandinavian Airlines, Copenhagen is actually their primary international hub. So, Arlanda, Stockholm is gonna have traffic. But I have flown out of Copenhagen before, where there's been 20, 25 aircraft on the ground. It's pretty cool to see. It's pretty neat. I mean, actually should have been handed off here.
Scandinavian 928 Heavy, contact Gander Center 132.1.
There it is. Gander Center 132.1, Scandinavian 928 Heavy. Thanks. See ya. What was that again? 132.1. Whoops. Gander Center, good afternoon. Scandinavian 928 Heavy, flight level 370, direct Nixo.
Scandinavian 928 Heavy, Gander Center, radar contact.
For this flight, I am about 2 hours into it. And I've covered... Hold on. I've covered about 774 straight line miles as the crow flies, as it were.
Scandinavian 928 Heavy, Contact Gander Center 125.075. Have a good day.
Over to Gander 125.075, Scandinavian 928 Heavy, thanks. Gander Center, good afternoon. Scandinavian 928 Heavy, flight level 370, direct Nixo.
Scandinavian 928 Heavy, Gander Center, identified.
And Gander Center, Scandinavian 928 Heavy, request flight level 390.
Scandinavian 928 Heavy, confirm new altitude flight level 390.
Affirmative, Scandinavian 928 Heavy.
Scandinavian 928 Heavy, roger. Climb to flight level 390.
Climb flight level 390, Scandinavian 928 Heavy.
Provincial 2255, turn right, heading 085 climb to flight level 200.
Turn right, heading 085, climb to flight level 200, Provincial 2255.
Because there's no controllers online where I am. So I'm using a program called Beyond ATC, which is an actual LLM, like a large language model ATC program that I bought. It just gives me something to do, somebody to talk to, etc. Makes it a little bit less boring. But I'm also watching VATSIM radar, and if a real ATC comes online in a sector that I am in or I'm going to be flying into, I will switch over and talk to them and close Beyond ATC. But this, again, gives me something to do. I mean, other than talk to you fine folks, I enjoy that as well. But from a flying aspect, from an aviation standpoint, my strobes are on, right? Strobes should be on. Yeah, they're on. In 2 days, that'll be Thursday. Yes, I will be streaming. Yeah, heck yeah. So that would be great. I'd be more than happy to do that. Are you on Discord?
Provincial 2255, contact Gander Center 132.1, bye-bye.
Center on 132.1, Provincial 2255.
Okay. Yeah, so just go ahead and add me on Discord. My name is the same as my username here. So, oh my Redbeard, all one word. Now, are you pretty well versed in how to like handle the aircraft? Okay, now we're getting some good fuel efficiency, which is nice. We're actually gaining some estimated fuel on board. And we're passing Nixo in like 14 miles. Then after that, we will officially be on Nat Track Tango. And it's gonna be a lot of sitting and waiting. Okay, so you're and that's fine. That's no big deal. So, but I mean, you know how to handle the aircraft. It's just the actual VATSIM aspect, the communication and the telephony that you need help with. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I can't be a whole lot of help with Boeing. It's been probably 15 years since I've used a Boeing aircraft in the simulator.
Provincial 921. Contact Gander Center 132.1. Bye-bye.
Center on 132.1, Provincial 921.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. That'll be pretty cool. Where are you located in the world? Just so we can plan timing wise. Oh, Scandinavia. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. Well, that is where we're going to be flying out of, as a matter of fact. I'm going to be doing an event, actually, for my virtual airline, which is Virtual Scandinavian. Okay, so let's see. So let's see here. The current Zulu time is 17:36 right now. So I would say, with the flight that I'm doing, it's a 4-hour flight. It is from Arlanda down to Greece. About a 4-hour flight. So I would say probably about, trying to think here, so 17, 15, 14. So I would say probably about 1400 Zulu. I don't know if you're familiar with Zulu time, but it's basically the worldwide aviation time. It's the same as UTC. But it's a good way to coordinate across time zones. So hold on, let's see here. $1,400 Zulu to... So a quick little conversion here. Now, what part of Scandinavia are you more? Norway, Sweden, Denmark? Because it's probably going to affect the time zone. Norway? Okay. Stand by. So... that'll put your local time, and this is using Oslo as the reference point, 1600, so 4 p.m. your time. On Thursday. Yes. Do, 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 do. 1943. Yeah, because you're 2 hours ahead of Zulu time. The current Zulu is... Hold on. Too many tabs. The current Zulu is 1747. Oh, really? Okay, hold on. Oh, no, it's 1740 local. Yeah. 17. Huh. Why does that feel so borked to me? East coast of the U.S. Eastern time zone.
Gander Center, Dashport 2205. Good day. Flight level 094. Dashport 2205. Gander Center, radar contact.
Here. David, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Yeah, okay, so it's 1943 now. And for you, so 530, yes, okay. So my original still holds true. So it's gonna be 1400 Zulu, which is going to be 1600 your time. I've been at it for about 2.25 hours. I'm kind of surprised there's no Oceanic controllers online because there's a fair bit of traffic crossing. Friggin' Europe is just lit up right now, which is why I'm happy to be going back there. Because the times that I have to fly is during the day here before work. Do I have much traffic? I mean, there's a lot of traffic over the... Well, I'll show you. Hold on. Stand by. I mean, nobody that's going to affect my flight, but... And no, very much like David said, and at the end of the day, you can probably pronounce it speaking just fine. Because quite frankly, the way that you typed it, kind of how it said. And what you call it here? Oh, apparently I'm still in that frequency. Interesting. Didn't know that. Yeah, there's a pretty steady, I call it the conga line. There's a pretty steady conga line onto Nat Track to Tango right now. British Airways cargo, Boeing 787-8 to O'Hare. I flew to O'Hare last week, actually. It was a good time. Yes, but FT Clips, you speak English just fine. Definitely well enough for VATSIM, I'll say that. I don't think David or myself has had any issue understanding what you were trying to say, even if you did make a typo or something. I mean, you're still very understandable. No, I'm looking forward to flying with you, Clips. That should be a good time. It'll be a good time. Quite a lot of traffic over the Atlantic for you, AI and offline players. That's fun, isn't it? To see other aircraft and stuff.
Dashport 2205. Contact to see John S. Tower 120.6. Over to Tower 120.
Oh, Innsbruck.
Port 2205.
I've been meaning, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I do a lot of... I have done a fair bit of flying in Switzerland. Innsbruck just scares the hell out of me. Famous approaches are generally famous because they're challenging or taxing. Give me a nice solid ILS after a long flight, and I'm a happy kid. That's not what I want to do. Ah! You've done JFK to Innsbruck in the A318 corporate jet. Had to go around twice because of bad weather. Plus it was night. Oh, God. Yeah, no, nighttime bad weather landing at Innsbruck sounds like an anxiety attack in flight sim form. That's what. There we go. On this route, I would normally be flying the more modern. I'd be flying like the A350 because I have the Indy builds. I just have issues. I'm having so many issues with that aircraft. It's a beautiful aircraft that flies beautifully, but damn does it irritate me sometimes. Plus, I just love the A330. Always have, always will. Next Airbus corporate jet flight will be in the 319 Farnborough to Van Nuys. Oh, geez. I guess I didn't realize that the 319, even the corporate version, had that kind of range. And I've done some, I don't want to say ultra long haul, but I've done some quite long flights. I actually did Copenhagen to LAX one time. That was fun. And these long hauls are kind of an exception rather than the rule for me. I'm basically just doing this to get back to base. And also farm some sweet, sweet points for my VA. Potentially, depends on what your runway and the wind conditions are. But potentially, you might. Actually, let me. Hmm. $13. Oh, wow. 13 hours endurance. Stand by while I'm making a bug report on something. I will be back in a minute. Okay. Give me just a second. Okay, I'm back. My bad. And now that I've lost focus on some stuff. Alright. Still no controllers online, and that's fine. We're talking, we're vibing, we're chilling. Captain Siebes, following on the Twitch. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, not a whole heck of a lot, my friend. We are over the North Atlantic. We are on Nat Track Tango. We are on our way to Copenhagen. Yes and no. The headwind A339. So yes, from a systems standpoint, it is a fly-by-wire. It's this beautiful beast here. I'm using a rolled back version, Siebes. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think it's Siebes. Yeah, I'm using a rolled back version, actually. I'm using 0.5.8. Because they borked the flight model, the flight dynamics at some point, going from 0.5 to 0.6. Perfect. Well, there we go. Perfect. Got it. And we're using a combination here. So I'm using Beyond ATC because there ain't no ATC on right now. But I'm still connected to VATSIM. So my video description is not a lie. What's your flight number? I want to track you. Southwest 4549. Oh, there you are. Yeah, middle of the day for us Americans, unfortunately. You're finally over Canada, David. I should really do this. Hold on. We're going to do something so everybody can see what's going on. I am talking across two different platforms right now. So let's go to Restream. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Son of a bitch. Or is that? No. Okay, hold on. Stand by. Log out. Give me a second, folks. I'm doing something silly. I mean, it's not necessarily silly, but let's see. There is that. Chat. Embed chat. Apparently I can't. Yeah, I should be able to. Hold on. Embed chat. Copy. So we'll go to sources, we will go there, we will go browser source. Hey, look at that. Okay. So let's see. Transform. Transform. Copy transform. Go here. Do this. Paste transform. Oh, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Son of a bitch. Edit transform. Size. Close. Transform. Edit transform. 540. Do and 304. Edit transform. 304. Although I feel like, hold on. I I am, yes. I am on Twitch. I am on YouTube. Do 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 do. There we go. I'm at flight level 390. Oh, that fucked some stuff up. Hold on. Let's go to 100. Oh, that'll do. That'll do for now. Except, let's see. Yeah, so the reason for that, hold on. So the reason for that is my overlay, I'm using a program called Fly Live Studio, and hold on one second, sorry. Test something, alert box, flight data. Oh, I have that duplicated. That would be interesting. Okay. Anywho, that would be why that was looking so goofy. Anyway, the Fly Live Studio doesn't account for calibrated altitude. If that makes sense. And nothing new on that track. Yes, that would be why. Because I think that what is happening with that is it's trying to pull basically the local altimeter, which really should be 29992, regardless. I'm not sure. But, yeah, that's why. Oh, no, you're good. I get that question actually fairly often. But I'm wondering if... There isn't. Okay. I was curious if there was a setting or something like that, but there isn't. Yes, short answer. That's the reason. Although, actually, I wonder if I did that. Yeah, it's 510 ground speed, though, right? Okay, let's try this. And it is still saying the wrong altitude. Okay. But that's an interesting thing. Let me Google. Altitude. Okay, whatever. Going back to the chat. Talk to you guys. You're going over another body of water. Are you still over Canada? You've flown over Newfoundland? Because I would still, because in between Newfoundland and Nova Scotia, there's the Gulf of St. Lawrence, which is part of the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, yep, top part of Newfoundland. So yeah, you're gonna be. That's the Gulf of St. Lawrence. Again, that's just part of the North Atlantic Ocean. Oh. Unfortunately, it's getting close to the point where I have to let my plane fly itself and get off and go to work. But I'm going to delay that as much as I can because y'all have been fantastic. I appreciate everybody that's come over from YouTube. And I appreciate Captain Siebes for the follow and the hanging out. So I'm going to hang out with y'all as soon as I can, or for as long as I can. But I get the feeling... Okay, my strobes are on. Good. Good. you want to do is this. Log in. Wait for my code to come through. I do want to do this. Channel. Shut. Channel. And drop Captain Siebes a follow. Because I appreciate you that much. There we go. We have time to land the plane in 3 hours, 45 minutes. Nope. I will not. I have to be to work in an hour and a half. Unfortunately. And actually, I'm going to do this too. Chat background opacity. Let's go 50, see what that looks like. But luckily, my VA allows for pauses if they're explained. So it's going to be a pause at top of descent. I'm probably just going to land it when I get home from work. Yes, David. Actually, the majority of my landings, I can do a visual, I can do a manual landing, but especially after like an 8-9 hour flight, I almost exclusively utilize Cat 3 auto land. But I don't like to have my aircraft land itself when I am not at the controls. Because, yeah, I don't want to... Basically, I don't want to waste flight time. And what I want, let me just double check. Okay, I'm gonna get a handoff here in a minute. In a minute. Bum, 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 bum. Open file location. Open file location. But I think that I might end up doing something silly. Is that folder still there? Bum, ba, 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 ba. What? What? Oh, son of a bitch. Tools, options. Okay. Okay. But yeah, I think I might actually do some 2024 tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. But let's see. S OCI directory, no, so it's gonna be there. 2024 AI traffic. Or 4 hours and 33 minutes. Hell yeah. Oh wait, hold on. Copy username. Copy password. Oh, come on now. Gotcha. Joined about 2 hours in. Yeah, because I am now 3 hours into mine. Settings. Oh, I'm well over the Atlantic. Yeah, I'm into like the second half of Gander Oceanics airspace. Yeah, I'm there. But downloading a bunch of AI traffic right now. Ah, Moncton. I've had some good controllers over Moncton. Okay. So I'm downloading FSLTL and the AIG packages right now for VATSIM 2024. So if I get a wild stick up my ass and decide to fly on VATSIM tomorrow or whenever, I will actually have models. I'll let this run while I'm at work and should have plenty at that point. And I see Siebes, he's up over Texas right now. Still over Texas, I should say. Heading towards Hobby Airport on his way to Albuquerque. Fun. But it is 2:45 p.m. local time, so I actually do have to end the stream so I can go and do some stuff to get ready for work. Thank you to everybody that has hung out. I will probably be around tomorrow. I don't have a server, but I am on Discord. My Discord name is the same as my username here. It's ohmyredbeard, all one word. I don't have the patience to set up a server, but anybody can add me. Always looking for people to fly with. I know, David, you're on Xbox, but you do have PC, like you said. Just a thought. You could always jump in. But hold on, let me do this real quick. Let me go to user settings. Oh, there you go. Somebody found me. Pending and accept. Perfect. Gotcha, David. And I'm also going to do this for anybody else that is interested. Copy, paste. User ID. Hell yeah, Clips. Nice. There we go. I think that's everything that I need. Got that going. That's decompressing. Perfect. This is going. And I do have to come here and jump onto a buddy's thread because he sent me something. Boom, boom. I need to download. Where is it? Where is it? There we go. 2024. So yeah, everybody definitely, if you feel so inclined, I'm not going to be that guy, but if you feel so inclined, follow or subscribe or whatever the platform allows, so you guys know when I'm on, because this has been a lot of fun having everybody chatting. And yeah, we'll catch you everybody on the next one, and we'll get into some more trouble, over Europe or over the Atlantic or whatever I happen to be. Whatever I happen to be doing. So everybody have a great day. Truly have a great day, and we'll see you all next time.